If you find yourself frequently thinking about what foods you should and shouldn't be eating, chances are you're not satisfying your appetite. Overly controlled eating is not only time-consuming and tiring, it may actually do more harm than good, with studies linking conscious restriction of food intake to obesity. An American study found restricting for weight loss depletes the body's supply of glucose, triggering sugar cravings and making it even more difficult to establish a healthy diet with a good nutrient balance. While all of us have a different eating style, based on childhood experiences and individual food preferences, there are some common types of disordered eating. Unlike an eating disorder, such as anorexia nervosa or bulimia, disordered eating is not a clinical condition, so is much more easily managed. Here are the top 6 types of disordered eating, plus easy, expert-based strategies to change your thinking around food. 1. Restrictive eating. If you base your food choices on what you think you should be eating as opposed to what you feel like eating, then you could be classified as a restrictive eater. This is usually characterized by having very strict food rules, such as, I never eat carbs at night, or overeating when a situation causes the self-imposed food rules to be broken. Restrictive eaters are often on a diet, may avoid social situations that involve food, or spend far too much time mentally calculating the fat and kilojoule content of their meals. To counter this behavior, do not tell yourself there are foods you should or shouldn't be eating is the key to overcoming this restrictive eating style. Once you realize there are no food rules, but instead, everyday, balanced healthy meals and, sometimes, treats, it will gradually become easier to incorporate into your diet the foods you previously avoided, without feeling out of control or guilty. Another good way to overcome this restrictive type of eating is to tap into your natural hunger signals and appetite by asking yourself each time before you eat, what do I really feel like eating? 2. Emotional eating. Feeling sad, upset, stressed, lonely, or bored may interfere with your appetite, which may make you eat more. Emotional eating is a behavioral side effect of emotional distress and, if not identified and managed early, can result in unwanted weight gain. People who do not have a strategy to deal with stressful situations are more likely to turn to food as a reward or make poor food choices. One study found that negative emotions, such as stress, depression, or sadness, consistently elicited eating behaviors that fall outside of nutritional recommendations. On the other hand, the study participants who tended to respond to stress with positive thoughts or actions were able to resist less healthy food temptations. To counter this behavior, develop a strategy to manage your desire to emotionally eat by identifying what is likely to set you off on this pattern of behavior. One way to do this is by giving yourself a time out between the trigger and the eating. So, instead of immediately reaching for the cookie jar, call a friend for a chat or get out of the house and go for a long, distracting walk or write down in a journal what you are feeling and what caused this. Even just writing the pros and cons of certain food choices can curb your desire. Another great strategy to stop emotional overeating is to just avoid having comfort foods stocked in your pantry. 3. Night binging. Night bingers eat next to nothing all day, only to arrive home famished and eat everything in sight. This style of eating is linked to obesity, with about half of all night bingers reporting to be of normal weight before developing this habit. Eating a disproportionate number of kilojoules in the evening disrupts your natural metabolism, causing you to wake up feeling full and/or sluggish in the morning, so you have less energy during the day. It can also result in weight gain and less healthy food choices. American research from the New York Obesity Center further emphasizes the negative health implications of night binging, including higher rates of depression, lower self-esteem and greater difficulty managing weight than people who eat regularly throughout the day. To counter this behavior, you need to break this unhealthy habit and spread your kilojoule intake more evenly throughout your waking day. New habits take time to establish, so take small steps to improve your chance of success. Start by reducing the kilojoules in your evening meal by serving yourself smaller portion sizes. Next, try to eat a small amount of food first thing in the morning, such as a milk-based smoothie or a piece of fruit. Slowly work towards eating at least 3 meals every day. And don't forget snacks. A protein-rich nut bar or small tub of yogurt on your way home from work can keep your appetite in check and prevent binging. Make a daily or weekly meal plan and shop with a list to help you prepare the 3 meals you need to aim to eat in one day. 4. Health fanatics. Eating well is commendable, but taking it to extremes where you only eat organic, gluten-free, clean, can be mentally draining, and may be a sign your control is excessive. Being obsessed or too rigid with healthy eating is actually a medical condition known as orthorexia nervosa. According to the American Dietetic Association, it involves eating disorder-related symptoms such as fixating on eating a restrictive diet and obsessively and compulsively maintaining a low body weight. If you can't remember the last time you really enjoyed your food, you need to relax your rules. There's nothing wrong with eating healthily, but if it's socially limiting, that's a big problem. To break free of this pattern, think about the foods you enjoy and include them in your weekly menu. Start dining out at new venues and, most importantly, remind yourself that food is meant to be pleasurable as well as nourishing. Being healthy is more than what you eat. Good health includes your physical, mental, social, emotional and spiritual well-being, and taking an obsessive approach doesn't make you healthy overall. 5. Serial dieter. Whether it's the soup diet, low carb, paleo or Atkins, the serial dieter has tried it, but never seems to keep the excess weight off. Fad diets may work in the short term because of sudden kilojoule restriction, but are almost impossible to maintain, so the weight loss is only ever temporary. Restrictive eating, especially if it excludes whole food groups like fats or carbs, is not a healthy, sustainable approach to achieving and maintaining a healthy weight. Rather, successful long-term weight loss and maintenance requires a lifestyle change that includes increasing the amount of physical activity you do, as well as altering what and how you eat to achieve nutritional balance. If you're a serial dieter, you need to get off this unhealthy cycle of weight loss and weight regain. Think about all the precious time and energy, not to mention money, you've wasted to date on these diets for no real result. If you're serious about getting healthy, make an appointment with an accredited practicing dietitian, who can help you develop a personalized food plan to manage your weight and reach your long-term health goals. 6. Social eaters. Social eaters eat healthily day to day, but as soon as there's a family get-together, a celebration, or a dinner date with friends, they suddenly lose track of what they're consuming. Recent studies confirm we tend to eat more food than usual when dining out with another person, and consume more still when eating with large groups of 7 people or more. If your social calendar involves a lot of dining out or get-togethers over meals, and is causing you to put on unwanted weight, use the online restaurant and cafe menus to decide beforehand what you're going to eat. This will help you resist the temptations of your surroundings or getting swept up in the occasion when you arrive at the venue. Follow the 2-food rule of limiting yourself to either a starter and main, or a main and dessert. The longer you sit around a communal table, the more food you tend to eat, so slow down your eating and concentrate on enjoying the company just as much as the food. Try the following strategies to tune into your hunger and get your appetite back on track. Tip 1. Start a food diary, noting down everything you eat in a day and how you are feeling. This helps to establish the link between your emotional state, what you eat as a result, and the time of day it occurs. Tip 2. Never let yourself get too hungry. When you're ravenous, you'll overcompensate and eat too much. Tip 3. If you have overeaten, it's not the end of the world. Instead of beating yourself up, just get back on track with your sensible new eating habits when you sit down at your next meal. Tip 4. Remind yourself there are food rules you have to follow. Always ask yourself, what do I feel like eating? Tip 5. Base your main meals around lean protein, whole grain carbohydrates, and a wide range of colorful, antioxidant-rich fruit and vegetables. Tip 6. Always keep a nutritious snack, such as a nut or protein bar, in your bag so you can refuel if you need to when out and about. Tip 7. Avoid keeping snacks, treats, or, sometimes, foods you find hard to resist stocked in large quantities in your pantry at home. Tip 8. If you find your eating is controlling your life, seek the advice of an accredited practicing dietitian. Binge eating disorder has only recently been recognized as an eating disorder in its own right, alongside anorexia nervosa and bulimia. Its telltale sign is regularly eating extremely large quantities of food in a small amount of time, within a 2-hour period. Don't confuse it with having the odd too large meal or occasionally grazing through an entire packet of Tim Tams in front of the TV. Rather, binge eating disorder is characterized by having an emotionally charged relationship towards food consumption, where you feel you just can't stop eating and it's causing you distress. Hope this helps and clears all your doubts about overeating. If you got value from this video, consider subscribing, and see you in the next video.